Hello! Today I'm going to read another biography about David Bowie, Little People, Big Dreams. Little David lived with his family in a tiny house on an ordinary street in London, but he had ideas that would take him out of this world. At school, he loved music and dance classes. He had a real talent for singing, and his dance moves were from another planet. His teachers had never seen anything like it before. He spent hours listening to his brother's rock and jazz records. David was so inspired by the power of music that he started to write his own songs. There's a record player. David studied art, music, and design at school. Sometimes his teachers were not sure if he was a boy or a girl, but David was just delighted to be himself. One day he got in a silly fight with his friend George, who punched him in the eye. That punch changed David's look forever and made him strangely magnetic. David and George remained friends and formed a group called the Conrads. The rest of the band was happy playing at weddings, but David wanted to become a star. He jumped from band to band looking for a chance, dreaming that one day all the lonely kids on planet Earth would sing his songs out loud. But David knew that a great singer needed to be a great performer too. He decided to mix his music with the most spectacular outfits and dance moves ever seen on stage. David wrote a song about a lonely astronaut, and it became his first big hit. The whole world listened to his song the day the man first walked on the moon. Next, David transformed into an alien rock star called Ziggy Stardust, the coolest space invader the world had ever seen. Dressed as Ziggy, he finally made it to superstardom. David wasn't sure where he was going from there, but he knew it wouldn't be boring. He kept reinventing himself, and that's what made him David Bowie. For more than 40 years, he kept exploring new galaxies filled with futuristic sounds. He inspired generations of fans to find their own voice and dare to be different. And by never being afraid to be himself, little David became the most unique star who ever fell to Earth. Okay, he was born in 1947 and died in 2016. Here's the timeline. David Bowie was born David Jones in Brixton, London. From an early age, he loved to express himself through music, dance, and painting. His older brother Terry introduced him to music records, and David was hooked. He started to learn many instruments, including the saxophone. In 1962, his friend George punched him in the eye, which left him with a permanently dilated pupil. This made his eyes look like they were different colors, as his left pupil was so big. After a 4-month stint in the hospital and multiple surgeries, George and David made up and formed their first band, the Conrads. They played weddings and small events, but David wanted to be a star. He left school at 16, deciding to take his musical career to the next level. He played with many bands and changed his name to David Bowie to stand out. Bowie went solo and his career rocketed. His songs became household tunes. His first hit, Space Oddity, was played on television over the Apollo 11 moon landing. Bowie then imagined himself as a new character, Ziggy Stardust. He adopted a character with a red quiff, face paint, and wild outfits. His song Changes came to represent how David reinvented himself and his music. He was a style chameleon whose songs hopped across genres and were influenced by artists like Andy Warhol. From pop to rock, David continued to make music until he passed away from cancer in 2016. Many people thought that his last album, Black Star, was a final knowing gift to his fans. Over his lifetime, David made 26 albums, was entered into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and won the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. He left the world as one of the most iconic singer-songwriters of his generation. There you go. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.